But when you actually look at the renders and actually look at the walkthroughs, it looks absolutely stunning, doesn't it? Fabulous. And it's really going to be iconic as well. People are going to recognise Birmingham by that stadium. Welcome back to BCFC Royal Blue. And as we always say, there's never a shortage of things to talk about at Birmingham City. And in this podcast, myself and Matt are going to do one of our unscripted podcasts where we just talk about what's on our mind, really, and things that are happening at the Blues and see where it goes, really. The first thing, Matt, I think that we obviously have to start with is the reaction to the stadium, the new stadium. Obviously, it was revealed about a week ago.
Yeah.
It's really caused a storm, hasn't it?
The Chimney Boys.
The Chimney Boys,
It's quite funny. Even at the Baggies, at the time of recording was last night, Dad, and they were saying,
Tell us what to do with our chimneys.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't say it on this podcast.
Exactly that, yeah. But the fact that the chimney banter's already flowing speaks volumes, doesn't it? And then we were singing back, we're Birmingham City, we'll build what we want. And all that sort of stuff. So, again, it's already creating that great banter. And, I think I said it on maybe a pre or a post recently, Dad, kind of over this course of the last week, and I felt like I'm kind of a little bit more settled now. But at one point, the adrenaline had only just left my system because we'd had the stadium reveal that week. We'd had the 4-1 win against Norwich, and it was just such a high to be on. Of course, Blues knock you back down to reality quite quickly, don't they?
They tend to do that.
Life as a Birmingham, I'm sure every fan gets that. It's like high, boom, just kick you in the nuts, don't they? But yeah, no, Dad, buzzing for the stadium. I'm still in love with it. Every time I see the plans, I just think it looks fantastic. And I cannot wait to see this start to come to life and together on the wheel site.
What I found interesting when it was revealed, clearly you was always going to have the comments about the mixed comments about it. And even some Blues fans, when they have said when they first saw it, they weren't sure about it. But when you actually look at the renders and actually look at the walkthroughs, it looks absolutely stunning, doesn't it? Fabulous. And it's really going to be iconic as well. People are going to recognise Birmingham by that stadium.
100%.
It's going to be absolutely superb. But I had to smile though at some of the reaction, particularly from our friends down the road.
Knocking down houses, knocking down listed buildings. They're doing all sorts.
Well, somebody said, was it talking about the heritage? And they put like 3 pictures out of 4 that weren't even Villa Park. It was like Aston Hall and something else like that. I mean, how can you make Aston look like it's a...
I know.
Okay, Aston Hall is nice, to be fair, but it's nothing to do with their stadium.
No, exactly.
And so I think a lot of fans from other clubs have really been positive about it as well, about it, something different. It's not your soulless bowl that could have been created. And it's, I think it might set a blueprint for more creativity in future stadium designs for other clubs as well. Look at what Birmingham City are proposing; it's completely different.
But what you said, Dad, last week was really important. Is it doesn't matter who's talking about it. Everyone's talking about it. So Tom Wagner, when you think about social media and the impressions it's getting and the conversations it's inspiring, whether it's good or bad, Tom Wagner don't care.
No.
Everyone at the moment, or the past week especially, has been talking about Birmingham City. I've been seeing comments on X from like Tottenham fans and United fans going, "Why are Birmingham City suddenly building a stadium and trying to turn momentum?" And a couple of fans have been like, how great's that? Another club now trying to be aspirational. And then another clubs have been like, Birmingham City should try and stay in their lane. So there's all these controversial opinions depending on what side you're on. But
there was one podcast from a West Ham fan who actually was using our stadium as to question the ambition of their owners, saying, well, why are Birmingham City doing that? Why aren't we doing this and stuff like that? And I'm Tom Wagner as well. Did you see him on that leader thing?
I did. You gave me a nudge yesterday and I gave it a watch. Yeah.
He always comes across as knowledgeable, and the way he speaks, he's clearly somebody who is driven. When you look at him, he knows what he's doing. It's great to have him as our chairman, and because that he's taken us in a really good direction.
I feel like he could almost be a therapist. I feel like his voice just gives you that sense of calm.
Yeah.
And you're in good hands. He's quite charismatic as well. He comes across really well, very knowledgeable, and he clearly knows his stuff, Dad. He's a savvy business person. What he's done for this club over the past even 2 years has been phenomenal in terms of revenue and the sponsorships, the matchday experience. We all know the list. But every time he speaks, I feel like I get a little bit, it sounds really cheesy, but almost like a little bit hypnotised.
Yeah.
Like he's just got that way about him, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, what I liked about in that leaders thing he was talking about his desire and aspirations for Birmingham as a city, and obviously he talked about his investments in the other clubs, the netball team and the cricket team, the Hundreds, and obviously then he was asked about the stadium and what he's doing for Birmingham City, and it's a real pleasure to hear him, and to and obviously he just emphasises the plans he's got, and he's very driven, isn't he, as well? So that came across really well. Something else, Matt, as well. We've not really spoken about, and these podcasts give us the opportunity to talk about is the new contract signing for Christoph Klarer and for Ryan Allsop as well. What's your thoughts on that?
Amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, Christoph Klarer, Dad, when he renews a contract, that's as good as a big signing to me. I think he's been one of our best signings over the course of the rebuild from the relegation to League One and now where we are. Klarer, for me, is a beast. Almost like he's so strong and physical. It looks like he's fouling players, but he's not. He's just that strong, Absolute brick wall. And of course, Allsop, Dad, Brummy lad, Blues supporter, a good goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Obviously Beadle has edged him out because I think if we're all going to call it what it is, Allsop had a poor start to the season. Who knows? Over the course of the season, he might get that place back. I'm sure he will get his spot again.
Yeah.
And the FA Cup will be coming around soon, and there'll be various chances where Allsop might get a chance. But buzzing, Klarer and Allsop have renewed their contracts.
You are right, Matt. I think the way you described that, there's like having brand new signings. It feels like that for both of them. Klarer
especially.
Klarer's an important one because I think that there will be a lot of teams looking at him.
I agree.
And maybe Premier League teams. And now I think he's signed till 2029. I think so. He is a really, really important signing. I suspect there'll be some other players that might be signing extended contracts. We'll hear about possibly over the next months.
Yeah. As this conversation's popped up about players and contracts and all this sort of stuff, there's a lot of Blues fans as well saying in January, go all out and get Paddy Roberts on a permanent as well.
And Tommy Doyle.
Tommy Doyle as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
Totally agree with those two.
Totally agree with both. I think they've been absolutely brilliant. I think that they deserve to, to be offered contracts. But it depends. It's not just about us wanting them, though, is it? It's about their parent club willing to sell them, and it's about their desire to want to stay. Yeah. And I think they probably would want to stay. Yeah. If you think Tommy Doyle, I think there was rumours that at some point that Wolves might recall him, but nobody knows. I don't think. I don't know this for sure. This is just me talking. I don't think there'll be a recall option because we have an option to buy. You're not going to give a player out on loan with an option to buy with a recall option. It don't make any sense.
It's a contradiction, isn't it?
Yeah. So I don't think there'll be a recall option. And I think Tommy Doyle loves the Blues. Did you see him come over to us when we was at West Brom in the away end?
Exactly.
He got his man of the match thing, and I think all the Blues fans were singing his name.
Tommy Doyle, absolutely. And Paddy Roberts as well, Dad.
Brilliant.
Fantastic.
He's been brilliant.
I'd love to know what his market value is in terms of like how much you'd have to pay for him. But I think Paddy Roberts is fantastic.
It depends on what's left on their contract because the contract length affects value, doesn't it? But
would you agree Paddy Roberts around the $5 million mark?
It could be less than that. If he's only got a year left on his contract, it could be 2 or 3.
Yeah. But again, though, if it's 5 or less, in my opinion, it's a no-brainer.
I think with Tommy Doyle, I understand from what I remember in the summer that it was around about 8 to 10 million. 8 to 10 million was the buy option for him. Of course, we have to balance it with our finances to make sure it all works. Yeah. But we have got an option to buy, so I hope we take that up, and I hope that. In
fact, I mean, obviously this is a reach. Of course, it's a reach. But if we get promoted, it's automatically triggered with Tommy Doyle, isn't it? Apparently, if we get promoted, it's in the contract. Where
I don't know, Matt.
Apparently,
I don't know that,
anyway.
but I know that we've got an option to buy with him. But on that subject, then, if we're talking about January, what players are going to be going? Is a question.
Is a good question, isn't it?
Just come to me head, that because obviously it's unscripted. So I'm just thinking. I think from my perspective, I think it would definitely be. Samsted will probably go.
Samsted will go.
I'm pretty sure that Fujimoto is going to either be loaned or signed out because we've not used him. He's been available for ages now, but he's just not being picked. He's been on the bench.
Yeah.
Who else would go? Possibly Scott Wright if he's fit.
Yeah. Tell you what, Dad, again, just going off the back of deadline day, Lyndon Dykes was only a couple of hours away from going to Hibs on loan.
Yeah, that's a good point, Lyndon Dykes, but we'd have to have a
backup,
because that's one thing we do lack. Is we lack a physical striker. Now, Dux is not that person.
He's not physical.
We had a conversation at the West Brom game, didn't we, at half time, and I likened him to a Williamson type of player in terms of physicalness.
Yeah.
With good little skills and a good little player, and I think Dux is going to be key for us this season.
They're tall and agile, but they're not physical players.
We want a physical beast, a little bit like on the lines of Kiefer Moore type of.
Well, Kiefer Moore, Yuki, Dykes, they all have that DNA of just being an absolute unit. Don't they? The Swansea striker comes to mind. They're physical guys, And
what about as well, Matt? As well, I mean, again, this is probably controversial, but maybe not to Blues fans. But what about sending Cashin back? Because Jack Robinson is a permanent signing, so he can't go back anywhere because he's our player. But
he can go to a mental institution.
He needs to go to anger management.
He needs to go to therapy, doesn't he, Jack Robinson?
Maybe send him there in January.
You know,
but Cashing, we might not have an option to send him back.
I know this again. I don't mean to sound cruel here or rude, but if we could send him back and then that frees up a loan spot to get another player,
that's what I mean.
I'd be all for it.
That's the point I'm making.
Yeah, because
I think we're going to have to make space in the squad. I'm saying, because obviously if Dykes was to go, it would be to free up a space for somebody else. Obviously the players we've mentioned could go, but Cashing, with his greatest respect, it hasn't worked out for us. I know he's only played a couple of games for us, but he's cost us goals.
We drew against Sheffield Wednesday because of Cashing. Because he cost us 2 goals.
And against Coventry,
he cost us a goal. Yeah, so no, again, I know Derby fans rate him really highly, and obviously Brighton have paid a lot of money for him. And I just, you've hit the nail on the head. It hasn't worked out at Blues in his time so far. And if we could send him back to free up a space, I wouldn't be against it.
No, I don't think most Blues fans would. He may actually sort of have a stonking second half of the season.
Yeah, who knows?
What we're talking. Yeah, if that's the case, brilliant. I mean, I'm not for slating players. I'm not, but we see with our eyes what's happening.
But even with his anger problems and he's a little bit of a loose cannon, I'd put Jack Robinson in before Cashing again.
Yes. So would I. So would I. But I think the key one for me and the strange one is Fujimoto. I don't understand why we bought him in the first place. Obviously we must have thought he was something that hasn't really worked out. Because clearly Chris Davies doesn't trust him to pick him. No. And that tells its own story.
I mean, does that show a little bit of a disconnect in the recruitment process? Because in my opinion, this screams Chris Davies not really wanting this player. Because if he did, he'd at least be trying to nurture him into the team.
No, it's just that sometimes, man, until you actually physically see a player, see him on the training pitch, see what you can do.
But I'm not creating an invisible problem here. I'm just highlighting, could that be a little bit of a background issue there where maybe Chris Davies is kind of not being told, but encouraged to sign certain players. Who knows?
Possibly.
Anyway, it's just a small note on that because it is odd. Yeah, it's really odd. He's barely. What have we seen him, Dad? Did we see him 3 minutes at the end of one game? And that's it. We've seen him twice for like 3 minutes or something.
Did we see him in the Carabao Cup for a bit against Sheffield United? I think for a little while. But anyway, he clearly hasn't worked out because he was supposed to be the answer to our either right wing or number 10. But he's not going to get in ahead of Paddy Roberts. And he ain't going to get in ahead of Dutch. So basically, unless there's injuries or suspensions, where does he actually fit?
Or Kumas or Keshi. If you're just talking about wide players here, he's clearly sort of 6th in the list, isn't he?
Yeah.
5th or 6th in the list.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens with him. But I mean, like I say, with Blues, you just want us to keep going. I mean, our form's been okay, hasn't it? So far, at the time of recording, we're 17 games in, and overall our season's been okay. And I think okay is the right way to describe it because we're brilliant at home and absolutely terrible away.
I know. But that screams a mid-table finish, doesn't it?
It does.
So it doesn't mean we're in any danger, but we're also not going to push any higher unless. Especially going into this busy Christmas period, we can sort that away form out. We start to climb then.
Yeah, but I think Tom Wagner will look at the league table and say, okay, you might be like, I don't know, we're 9th at the time of recording, but I mean, we could be like down 13th, 14th. He might say, well, you're only like 4 points off the playoffs. We're going to have a push in January and see if we can get in more quality.
But I believe, again, I'm not in the finance department. I'm not even trying to pretend like I know the rules to any extent. But from what I've been hearing, though, we've spent pretty much the max we can spend now, in the summer. In terms of wages, because obviously, although we have free transfers, there's no such thing as a free transfer. There's sign-on fees, there's agent fees, there's wages to consider. And I believe we took it not far to the maximum we could go, really.
Yeah, but if you clear some decks, get people off your books, you're gonna free up a little bit. But like I say, we have to trust the people in charge that know what they're doing. That are gonna.
A question for you, Dad, is if we were into January right now, is there any areas you would look to strengthen or get more depth in?
Yeah, I think that you could look at all over the pitch. Really, yeah, we are strong in certain areas, but clearly I think definitely we've said the left back position.
Left back covers crucial, isn't it?
But obviously we've still got Lee Buchanan, but he still seems to be. There's no news about when he's coming back.
That's a nasty injury though, wasn't
it? So the left back position definitely. I would like to see a physical striker just to give us a different option.
I agree. And also that I would like, again, just more for backup here, I'd like to see
Wata.
a really beastie number 6.
Oh, number 6, yeah.
So like, we have Tommy Doyle, we have a Wata, we have Paik, we have Mark Leonard. I'm talking about a tall, physical, take no nonsense kind of 6. And that person hasn't got to be a first team starter. I think we're quite settled in the 6s and we have good rotation. Just someone in there as a spare. A bit like we talked about Dykes and Yuki and Kiefer Moore as an alternative, like attacking physical striker. A real beast of a number 6, just as almost like as a spare. Because I think some games, if you take the West Brom game, Dad, I think we needed someone in the midfield to take control.
Yeah.
And, I think certain games, you need different tools in your arsenal. I think even after 15 minutes against West Brom, we needed someone to grab that game by the scruff of its neck.
Yeah.
And someone like that would provide that. I agree with you. Left back, a solid 6, like a physical 6, and a physical striker as well. Apart from that, I think we're doing all right,
Yeah. I think because when you talk about the team and you look for the team and you think about the position, I think it shows you what a decent squad we've got. And I wouldn't say we're outstanding at all. No. I think we're a developing squad, and I think we've got good players in all positions, which is good, isn't it? Because we haven't really said that for a long time. So you can look at every position, there's players to come in. Absolutely. But to go to the next level, you need to look at that next level quality players. And January is a strange time because you can't really make major changes in January. So obviously, I'm looking at the next transfer window. So I think in the summer, I think we'll see another overhaul of the squad. But I think we're getting to the point now where it's not going to be mass changes. I think it's going to be
little tweaks
here and there,
little additions, little tweaks.
Yeah, I think there'll be some surprise exits, as there always are, because you do need to go over to those different levels. I mean, so one question I've got for you as well: when will Kyogo score?
He just isn't dropping for him, is it? He scored. He scored 3 offside goals this year,
brilliant goals,
and all 3 of them have been borderline screamers. But he's got to score soon. I mean, Dad, if he scores away from home, even St.Andrews is going to erupt. But wherever he scores, the roof's going to come off wherever we are, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing. And I'm just so bad. I've never wanted a player to score more.
No, neither have I.
I've never, he works hard. Even against West Brom, Dad, he came on and he was running the line.
Yeah.
He works hard. He makes good runs. He just needs that little bit of finesse in the final third.
Do you think because he's dyed his hair blonde? Do you think that's under Chris Davis's instructions?
Bowie.
Well, do you think that's under Chris Davis' instructions? Saying to him like, dye your hair blonde because the players will see you.
Maybe, yeah.
But it looks a bit weird with his blonde hair. But that's just a side issue. But
someone put that on X the other day. Kogo Bowie really made me laugh.
But he needs to. He does need a goal now. I think the Blues fans are really behind him. They're really encouraging him. I think we're almost trying to suck the ball into the net for him, and he's putting the effort in. But of course, because he's not getting that much game time, he's at the moment he's not going to get in front of Stano.
No.
And the number 10, obviously, Duxy's now clearly the first choice number 10. So he's going to be a substitute coming off the bench, but he needs to get the ball in.
But also, is he getting enough time? He's getting 10 minutes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So it's difficult because he's coming off in games, quite difficult games sometimes, and it's just not falling for him. But I'd love to see him score. That it will happen. He will score at some point. I was hoping. I said to you, didn't I, Dad? When he came on, I nudged you and went, "Oh, what a perfect time for Kogo to get a brace."
I know.
Get us that 2-1 win. But obviously, it never happened. But never wanted a striker to score more.
No, I think most Blues fans feel that as well. Just one final point on the women's team, still doing, ticking along, doing nicely. I think they're second in the WSL2. Behind Charlton, I did 2 that get promoted. So and they beat Villa as well.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, on penalties, was it?
Yeah, it was on penalties. I think they finished 3rd in the group, so I don't think they progressed to the next stages of the cup.
Okay, beat Villa.
But we beat the Villa, so that's always, no matter who it is, it's always good when you beat the Villa, isn't it? So well done to the women's team for that, and keep going.
Well, I always get, because I'm on the app and I get notifications on. I'm always getting the goals come through on my watch, so I keep quite close tabs on the women's results because my watch tells me. So keep it going, ladies, and hopefully you can make that push for promotion.
Yeah. So anything else on your mind, Matt? Or
No, all good to close it out. I think we've got a busy period coming up with Christmas. We need to sort out our away form. There's no doubt there's a disconnect between home and away. Lots of exciting stuff with the stadium and everything around the club at the moment. And, the games can't come quick enough at the moment. I'm loving going down, whether it's home or away, and I can't wait for this festive period to kick off.
Yeah, and it's true, isn't it? We seem to be in the right direction, going in the right direction, and we are going to get bumps in the road, of course we are. And, it's a good place to be, really, where we are. And as always, we'd love to know your thoughts, Birmingham City supporters. Let us know what's on your mind, anything that we've spoken about today that you've got a comment on, or maybe something that you want to add that's on your mind. Add a comment below. Me and Matt are always happy to see them and to read them and respond. So, put the comments below. Hope you've enjoyed the podcast as always. And if you did, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't checked us out on our social media channels already, pop along to our X page and our Instagram page. And if you like to watch or listen to your podcast on Spotify, you'll also find us on there. And you see the handles appearing on the screen for all these channels right now. If you haven't subscribed to your channel already, then make sure you hit that big red subscribe button. And if you want notifications every time we put a podcast out, make sure you hit that bell notification. So that's it for this one. Hope you've enjoyed it. Myself and Matt will see you on the next one. All about Birmingham City.